Good morning, everyone! Maya padabak? Kumusta ka? Kalugaranda ka? And for today, we are going to discuss about Pampanga, which is also known as the culinary center of the Philippines. The capital of Pampanga is San Fernando. The people from Pampanga obviously speaks Kapampangan. They have three component cities, Angeles City, Mabalacat, and San Fernando. And there are 19 municipalities in Pampanga. They are Apalit, Arayat, Bacolor, Candaba, Florida Blanca, Guagua, Lubao, Macabebe, Magalang, Masantol, Mexico, Minalin, Porac, San Luis, San Simon, Santa Ana, Santa Rita, Santo Tomas, and Sasmuan. In Pampanga, people rely from farming, fishing, and handicraft industry, most especially parol making. And because they are also referred as the Christmas capital of the Philippines because predominantly they are the makers of the Giant Lantern, and they are celebrating the Giant Lantern Festival, which we will be discussing later. Their major products are rice, corn, sugarcane, bangus, crabs, and tilapia. When it comes to the natural resources, they are mostly wetlands, swamplands, agricultural lands, clay, gravel, sand, and copper. And so at this point, let us discover what are the tourist destinations that can be found in Pampanga. But first stop, let us check on the map of Pampanga. On the north of Pampanga is Tarlac, on the east is Bulacan, on the west is Zambales, and on the south is Manila Bay. So we can infer that with this location, um, they are mostly landlocked except from the southern portion, which is Manila Bay. We can infer of their activities and the natural resources within Pampanga, and also um, their the resemblance of different cultures and activities of the Kapampangan with their proximate municipality. Our first stop is the Pascuhan Village, which is officially known as the Philippine Christmas Village, or otherwise known as Hilaga, is a Christmas theme park located in San Fernando, Pampanga. It is operational all year round and is under the Management of Tourism, Infrastructure, and Enterprise Zone Authority, or TIESA. This was originally built to showcase the craftsmanship and the handicrafts that the Kapampangans produce, most especially the ones who produces parol and other Christmas-related ornaments. Next stop is the Expo Filipino, or the Clark Expo. This was the Philippine National Centennial Exposition and the centerpiece of the commemoration of the 100th anniversary of the Declaration of the Philippine Independence on June 12, 1898. The 60-hectare Heritage and Entertainment Park in Clark Freeport Zone, Angeles is a celebration of the Filipino history, culture, and achievements in the past century and aspirations for the third millennium. The site was a project of the National Centennial Commission and the Philippine Centennial Exposition Corporation. And did you know that the old Nayong Filipino Foundation in Pasay has now been relocated in Pampanga, which is now known as the Nayong Filipino. So this has become the venue by which we could or it showcase different exhibits, different diorama featuring the different tourist destinations in the Philippines. Now, the Nayong Filipino in Clark attraction centers around the Philippines' history and culture, and it covers an area of 3.5 hectares. There's a money museum, which features the present and historical Philippine currency. And there's also a section in which they call the Textile Museum, which exhibits the rich and the local textiles in the Philippines. It also holds the different replicas of the select national landmarks in the Philippines, such as the Rizal Shrine in Calamba, Laguna, Mabini Shrine in Tanawan, Batangas, the Barasuin Church, and also hosts the replicas of the village of selected indigenous groups such as Ifugao, Kalinga, and the Aita people, where their respective culture is showcased. Our next stop or our next destination is the Mount Pinatubo or Lahar area. It can be recalled on a tragic incident June 15, 1991. Mount Pinatubo exploded in the second largest volcanic eruption on the Earth. This eruption deposited more than 1 cubic mile of volcanic ash and rock fragments on the volcano slopes. Within hours, heavy rains began to wash this material down to the surrounding lowlands in giant, fast-moving mud flows called lahar. In the next 4 rainy seasons, lahar carried out half of the deposits of the volcano, causing even more destruction in the lowlands than the eruption itself. And there's actually uh, a movie that represents this or that recounts this tragic incident of June 15, 1991. I think that was Don Sulweta who was the main character of that film. And I was elementary during that time, and I can vividly recall how tragic this incident and it has caused not only in Region 2 but in including the nearby regions and municipalities. And it's so traumatic. It's much like a pandemic, and almost all of the Philippines has been devastated. But with the resilience of the Filipino people, we were able to rise up from the ashes or to rise up from the lahar. Next destination is the Mount Arayat National Park. It is a potentially active or dormant stratovolcano located in the province of Pampanga on the island of Luzon. Rising to the height of 1,026 meters, the volcano's ridge crater on its northwest side with a smaller andesitic dome in the collapsed amphitheater. Considered as one of the most accessible parks in Manila, from Manila, the mystical mountain of Mount Arayat lies within the municipalities of Arayat and the Magalang in Pampanga. At the summit is a circular volcano crater, and its foot is the Pampanga River, the second largest in Luzon, which traverses the provinces of Bulacan, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija. And this is noted for its clear water cascading from its waterfalls and for its refreshing surroundings. Mount Arayat was established as a forest reserve in 1921 and then proclaimed as a national park in 1933. Next stop is Candaba Swamp and Wild Duck Sanctuary. The Candaba Swamp is located 60 kilometers north of Metro Manila. It encompasses 32,000 hectares of wetlands located mostly in the town of Candaba, Pampanga, and is bounded by the towns of Baliwag, San Ildefonso, and San Miguel in Bulacan, San Luis and Arayat in Pampanga, and Cabiao in Nueva Ecija. Situated at 11 meters above sea level, and the swamp is lowest point in central Luzon. It acts as a natural flood retention or a catch basin holding wet season overflows from the Maasim, San Miguel, Garlang, Bulu, and Peñaranda rivers and draining into the Pampanga River. The Candaba Swamp is an important staging and wintering area for ducks and other threatened water birds. It is one of the country's 117 important bird areas and a candidate for Ramsar or wetlands of international importance. According to the DENR, Candaba's wetland is a complex of freshwater ponds, swamp, and marshes with surrounding areas of seasonally flooded grasslands, arable land, and palm savanna of a vast alluvial flood plain. And our next destination is the Clark Special Economic Zone. Also simply known as the Clark, refers to an area spanning the city of Angeles and the province of Pampanga and the Tarlac in the Philippines. The Clark area in Pampanga covers the cities of Angeles and Mabalacat and the town of Porac. While there are some parts or areas in the Tarlac that covers this area, which includes the towns of Capas and Bamban in Tarlac. Clark Freeport Special Economic Zone is divided into two areas, the Clark Freeport Zone and the Clark Special Economic Zone. The new Clark City is part of the Clark Special Economic Zone, and the CFZ covers the area of the former United States Air Force Force facility in the Clark Air Base, and most of which of this air base, which converted to the Clark International Airport, and some remained under the control of the Philippine Air Force. All right, let us now proceed with the different festivals or the popular festivals happening in Pampanga. The first one is the Hot Air Balloon Festival. The festival is an annual event happening between January and February at Clark Freeport Zone, just a few kilometers away from the Alviera. More specifically, the festival will take place at Omni Aviation Complex. The festival features multicolored hot air balloons flying in and around the field. And I can recall that before, many large companies used to sponsor this event. When I was in high school, I remember Close Up sponsoring this event. And a lot of people or this event are drawing so much attention and gaining popularity. And this is somewhat related to the Hot Air Balloon Festival, happening in um, which is happening in Turkey. So our next festival is the Giant Lantern Festival. The Giant Lantern Festival, or the Ligligan, is an annual festival held in mid-December in the city of San Fernando in the Philippines. And the festival features a competition of giant lanterns. Because of the popularity of this festival, the city has been nicknamed the Christmas capital of the Philippines. And if you can recall, prior to the flight of Catriona Gray going to her competition during the Miss Universe 2018, she had a short film which featured the parole making industry in Pampanga. And if you have noticed that the back dress of her national costume signifies the parole to represent the Luzon area, or the Luzon island, in her national costume. All right, so Kapampangan wouldn't be called as the culinary center of the Philippines for nothing, no? And matter of factly, many culinary schools has been established in Pampanga because of the moniker that they have established. And Pampanga is most noted because of their famous delicacy, which is sisig. However, the sisig that we came to know, or that was in the mainstream, is very far different from the sisig uh, that is authentic in Pampanga. Sisig is Sisig, as we all know, came from the mascara of the pig, or from the face. So usually it's boiled and then grilled to create a certain texture or crispiness. The original sisig is boiled and grilled and chopped into pieces and then marinated in vinegar and some other spices, which that was actually discovered by accident by Aling Lusing, yeah, which is the formator of the original sisig in Pampanga. And the original sisig does not have mayonnaise, it does not have egg. The authentic sisig uses the brain of the pig as the thickener of this dish. And the original sisig is not actually presented as a sizzling dish, but rather it's like an appetizer which has been marinated in vinegar. But the sisig that we came to know today is a modification of that sisig. Pampanga is also known for their dish betute, which is a stuffed frog. So if you're a fan of exotic dish, maybe this is something that is for you. Or maybe you could try kamaru, which is crickets, which is something that Thai people also are fond of, and you can see a lot of insects being cooked or grilled in the streets of Thailand. In Pampanga, they have buro or balo-balo, which is basically the fermented rice, which is popular condiment in Pampanga. Some find eating buro extremely, maybe because it's the pungency of the smell of this condiment. And also bulang lang Kapampangan or the guava sour soup. And also murcon, which is like the pork equivalent of cordon bleu. In murcon, it has an accompanying red sauce, or it's cooked in red sauce, or a tomato-based dish. And it's a pork loin rolled with stuffing inside. You would have egg, sausage, pickles, bell pepper, or what have you, and then cooked in the red sauce and served slice. So this has a somewhat Spanish semblance, and it's kind of tedious. It requires tedious preparation. So mostly these are being prepared when there are special occasion such as fiesta and Christmas. Then it is Pampanga is noted for their ready to cook food such as tocino, longanisa, tapa, which is made popular by the manufacturers Pampanga's Best. And also one of their famous pastries is San Nicolas cookies. So this is actually there's a wooden mold for that. They roll the dough to have that shape of San Nicolas. So those are the important things, cuisines and delicacies that you could have in Pampanga. So hopefully that we can visit Pampanga very soon so that we can enjoy their culinary delicacies.